Good morning, YouTube friends. It's Dale from whatever the weather may be. Happy Sunday morning to everybody. I'm back up in my craft room or my studio. It's early Sunday morning. I had a choking spell when I was sleeping about 5:30 and I just couldn't quit clearing my throat and choking, so I got up and made myself a cup of hot tea and I came upstairs because I was done sleeping, I guess. So when something like that happens, I have a hard time falling back to sleep. So up here I came and I started working on something that I had been working on last evening. And I don't know if you saw my videos on what you can make out of blue jeans. I was starting a blue jean quilt. And actually, that quilt had big patches like this. I think they're 8.5 or so inches wide. And I had lots and lots and lots of these patches. But when I started sewing them together, I found that I really didn't like how it looked. So I decided to cut them in 4. So now I'm progressing much better. And that is how it's going to come together, like that little piece on the wall. I just have them pinned up to my little wall thing there. So I think this is going to be much more what I was looking for. This is going to go on my spare room, which is painted yellow. The walls are all yellow and trimmed in white. And I've always wanted to have blue and yellow in that room. I've never had those colors in any room of my previous homes, or just I've never ever decorated with those 2 colors, but I've always thought they were really pretty and bright and springy, and I don't know, just something. And because I'm not sleeping in that room, I thought this is perfect. I can try that color combination out. If I don't like it, well, I can always change the wall color. But so this is what I wanted. I wanted a blue coverlet or quilt for the bed. And this is much, much more what I was thinking of. So this is just, I'm just popping pieces on the wall right now. And I was thinking that instead of actually quilting it, because it's blue jeans, some of them are quite heavy, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this quilt. And I think I'm going to tie it with bright yellow wool to go with the yellow wall. I think that would actually look kind of cute. So this is where I got to last evening. I don't know, I came upstairs yesterday and I thought, I'm going to work on this. I got to get this done. And then as I started, I thought, no, I don't like that. So then I started cutting things up, and this is what I do. You know, I start one thing, I have a vision in my head, and then what I'm working on is nowhere near what my vision is going to be. So then I hack it up some more. In the end, I always, usually, not always, but usually I ended up with something that I can live with. And I think this is going to be pretty. I think it's colorful on its own with just the colors of blue. And there's enough variety in the colors there. That's going to make me happy. So anyway, now I have, I've got all these to cut up. I hope I'm going to have enough, but I still have more jeans. That box down there is pretty much full of old blue jeans. So I'm going to cut all these up today, or this morning before hubby gets up, and I'll pin them up there, and hopefully I'll have enough for a queen size quilt. If it just is double size, that's fine too. It's just for the spare bed, so which is a queen, but I think I'm going to have more than enough. I can always cut up more, so I kind of like the look of that. So while we're focused out at this end of the room, I'll show you. Well, I've been seeding a few things. I have a lot of flowers seeded already. In my little, I put the greenhouse downstairs in the dining room, so now it's very sunny and bright there, so I think that's actually a better place. So what I have seeded already is Echinacea, Rudbeckia, Goldstrum, some zinnias, some hollyhocks. What else have I put in there? Stalks. I have some forget-me-not started. I have evening scented stalks. I have cosmos seeded. What else have I seeded? Delphiniums. So I try to actually just start some perennials because they take longer to get going, and it's a little too early still for annuals, even though we are today into March. Happy first day of March. Well, that just hit me, boom. Anyway, so these are my geraniums that I took cuttings. I had I had these bigger plants here, and I took cuttings, and actually the bigger plants are taken off again. I could take some more cuttings, but these are all my cuttings that I've taken from them. So right now I have close to 25 plants, I think, which is great. That saved me a ton of money. There's 4 colors here, and I think this will be more than enough geraniums for pots around the yard. And I have one little lowly, I think it's a begonia of some kind. Yeah. It's not doing, well, it's actually not doing too bad. This was a really pretty begonia. I bought it at a plant, or a little greenhouse last year, and it was gorgeous. It was like white, big white rose. It was lovely. So I brought it in, and it sort of died down, and I thought I had lost it, but I got enough here. I think it's making a fairly good start. There's some new leaves coming on it, so I think maybe I've got enough to keep it going. I hope. So this is a south side window here, south facing window, and as you can see, we still have a bit of snow, but actually it's been really melting a lot. So they get plenty of light up here. It's not too warm, which I think is good for these plants. They don't need a whole lot of heat, but it's warm enough. I mean, I don't have the heat on very much up here because I do not like being too warm. I don't like working when I'm really warm. So here, this is kind of a hot mess, but it is what it is. This is where I put my little seed pots together, and I put my seeds in, and dirt everywhere, but that's okay. This will be messy for some time to come, and then it'll be all cleaned up, and there won't be any plants in here. So that's just the nature of the beast, I guess. But I have a lot of plants that I'm adding into my yard, and I'm going to do another video on what I'm doing to my yard and all the different plants, because I've turned a huge big, or I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be turning a huge big vegetable garden into a very small vegetable garden, and some potager gardens, and flowers and perennials and wildflowers and things like that. So I have lots of work to do once that snow's all gone, but we have a ways to go yet. Even though it has been, it's been melting a lot. Our snow, we didn't have a lot of snow this year, but the snow that we did have is fast disappearing. And this morning, while I was making my tea, I have a little old-fashioned child's school desk sitting in front of the kitchen window, and I was sitting there waiting for the water to boil, and put the blind up because it was very, very foggy this morning. And this big rabbit, white rabbit with little black tips on his ears, came hopping into my yard and went to the bird feeder and was eating seeds that I guess the birds had thrown on the ground. And I knew that rabbit had been coming to the yard because I've seen his prints, and I've seen his droppings, which I'm very happy about. There's nothing better than rabbit droppings. But I haven't seen the rabbit. I saw it this morning, so while I was waiting for my water to boil, I was just watching him hopping around my yard and hoping that he left my my little shrubs alone, and he did. He, she, whatever. But it's a big jackrabbit, very large rabbit. So as I was watching that and waiting for my tea to boil, or my water to boil, to make some tea, I was thinking about the things that you don't see at night. You know, I'm out here in the country, there's all kinds of critters in your yard. I see footprints every morning when I walk through to come home after I've been doing my little cleaning job at the post office. I always sort of walk around to the bird feeder and things, and there's all kinds of prints out there. And you wonder after, oh, what was that? You know, what came to visit my yard? I've never seen rabbit prints in our yard until this year. This is the first time. I've seen rabbits around, but they've never been in my yard. So obviously he's hungry. He's coming to the bird feeder. So that's what I've been up to early this morning. No doubt I'm going to be tired. Probably about 2 o'clock I'm going to want a nap, but I'm trying not to do that kind of thing. It gets to be a bad habit that you can very easily get into. So I really like the looks of that. I'm very happy that I decided to change my mind on that. And I think I'm going to start sewing some strips together now and then see where I get from there. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have enough for a quilt. That probably already is long enough for a queen size quilt. I haven't measured it, but I'm pretty sure that's quite long. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be working on that. And I started another knitting project, like I need one more knitting project. This is a pair of fingerless gloves, mittens, whatever you call them. And I've made one pair from this pattern. It's actually very easy, but it's very pretty pattern. And I found this, it's just a DK yarn. I found this in my stash, so I'm going to knit it up and maybe give it as a gift next year for Christmas or something. I'm just trying to get all my knitting stash or my yarn stash dealt with. I'm getting there. I've actually used quite a bit of the stash that I've had, but I mean, there's still a lot there, and I just want to start using all this up before I purchase more. And I think I'm well on my way to doing just that. So I'm going to cut it here, and I'm going to go finish my tea, and then I'm going to start cutting some more squares and get on with that quilt. I hope everybody has a great day today, wherever you are. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now.